Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review for you all. This movie is a horror film from the USA, English language, released in the year 2025, directed by David F. Sandberg, and this film is called Until Dawn. So Until Dawn is about a woman that is searching for her sister that's been missing for a year. So her and her friends are travelling the countryside where she was last seen. They're going to ask the locals if they have any knowledge of her whereabouts. So they come to this truck stop, and the man that works at the truck stop tells them that he may have actually seen her. And so he leads them to a very secluded house in the remote countryside, and that was the last time she's said to have been seen. So the main character and her friends, they rush to this house, but then they realise that the house is harbouring something terrible, and that terrible thing is a time loop where they're now stuck. And so each evening the house is going to be bombarded by horrific elements, and each time they die, the day is going to be replayed. So it's kind of like Groundhog Day, but a very sinister version. And so they realise that in order to break the time loop, they're going to have to survive until dawn. So whether or not they can is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Until Dawn. This is a movie that knows exactly what it is, and what it is popcorn horror. So if you go in there expecting something that's going to be award-winning, soul-searching, you're going to be bitterly disappointed. But if you go into the film with the expectations of just having fun and not using your brain, then there are much worse films out there. And so I haven't actually played the game, so I can't compare this to the game. I know a lot of gamers absolutely hated this film, but going into a movie, I'm lucky enough to not be having to compare it to something else. So I think that's very unfair for a film to do. Is that if you're comparing it to a book or comparing it to a game, completely different thing. And so coming into this film with a fresh slate, I actually enjoyed it a lot more than other people out there did. So the film, as I said, it knows what it is. It's going to have really silly moments, there are goofy moments, there are actually quite funny moments thrown in there as well. So you have these characters that are cardboard cutout. You don't really care whether or not this main character finds his sister. You don't really care if they live and die. But the way that they do die and the way that it's repeated, I thought was a lot of fun. As I said, it's like Bill Murray's Groundhog Day, but a much more horrific version of that. So the time loop, I thought as though it worked fairly well for the enjoyment of the movie. The fluency, I thought, in the continuity of the whole experience was very smooth. I thought the kills and the gore were absolutely fantastic. And so that was something that I really liked. And I really liked the monsters that come into the film. Each night there is a different attacker. And I thought, alright, well that was pretty cool as well. And so the whole film has that pretty cool sort of vibe. So if you go in there expecting a cool experience, you go in there expecting a movie that you can enjoy with a group of friends on a Friday night, not having to think, leave your brain at the door, then this is a film that is definitely very, very serviceable. So that serviceable quality is through the production of the film. I thought the house was very creepy. I thought the actors did a fairly decent job at portraying characters that weren't overly irritating, and so that was something again I liked. But again, if they were very irritating, it didn't really matter, because it's not banking itself on character development, it's not banking itself on the story as such, it's more a case of the carnage that is unfolding before your eyes. And the gore effects I thought were really, really well done. There's a lot of creativity in there, and that's something that I liked. As I said, the monsters and the different type of monsters that come into the film, I thought as though it kept my interest from start to finish. So it's a very, very serviceable film. It's a very shallow film. It's not a movie you're going to remember in a week's time. It's definitely a film I wouldn't go out there and buy or go and see in the cinema. But if you've got nothing better to watch on a Friday night, then this is a movie that's definitely going to appeal to a lot of people. It's old school, sort of old-fashioned horror that's not taking itself seriously. But if you are a fan of the game and you absolutely hate this, please feel free to share your opinion as to why this is so bad compared to the game. As I said, I haven't played the game, I'm not a gamer, so I don't have that to compare to, so I would be interested to see what these gamers think of this film. So overall, as I said, just not really too much to talk about. It's just a movie that you just see a lot of carnage on the screen that is actually well developed. There's a lot of love behind this film, but it just doesn't have that lasting quality to really remember in, say, a few days' time. So overall, I'm going to give this film 2.5 stars. Go out there and see it. It is enjoyable. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.